Welcome to the May 15th, 2020 video version of the Wagner Daily. My name is Rick Petticelli, and as usual, once a week, this video replaces the written commentary portion of our report. Hopefully it offers a nice change of pace, as well as add some insight as to how we set up our charts, what indicators and timeframes we use. First up, we'll look at some broad market averages and then current open positions in the model portfolio and see what's out there in terms of new setups for the end of this week and the beginning of next week. All right, to the NASDAQ composite. NASDAQ reversed off the 20-day EMA after a 2-bar pullback. 2 to 3 day pullbacks in a strong uptrend is pretty normal price action. What I think is a bit out of the ordinary is that the pullback was almost 6% deep. And I think that can be attributed to just the volatility of the market right now. And let me just switch to the VIX here to show you what we're currently dealing with. The VIX was at 40 and dropped to 30 and now is bouncing into the mid-30s. During a normal rally, let's say we go by the 2019 after a big sell-off, the VIX dropped from 35 below the 50 MA, and then we had follow-through days, and then started to trend lower below 22. So 2 to 3 day pullbacks, we're seeing spikes into the high 20s, 17, 16, again, 17 area. So the VIX is instead of bouncing into 17 or 20, is bouncing into 35 and 40 here. So just a heck of a lot of volatility out there. And that's what's probably throwing some traders off, is that we're seeing just a nasty 2.5 to 3% down day. And that could be associated with the potentially a beginning of a sharp correction in the market. But since volatility is through the roof anyways, it's almost common now. So getting back to the NASDAQ composite, just a normal pullback to the 20-day EMA. One distribution day involved in that. And I don't think I need to get into whether or not the market will be able to set a new swing high. I have no clue what the market will do. I can only go by what it's doing right now. And today's action was pretty constructive. On to current long positions in the model portfolio, sorted by today's gain. We have NVIDIA, which we're up about 8%, looking pretty good. And looks like it could set a new high soon after a tight 3-day pause. TEAM also looking pretty good here. It looks like it could resume its uptrend after a few days of tight price action, waiting for the 10-day MA to catch up. Tesla, we have a half position in, and we'll probably look to add to this position soon, as we want to make sure that we have some size on if it breaks this downtrend line. Amazon, we also have a half position in. A break above this downtrend line and this swing high here should spark some buying interest. Netflix, false breakout on Thursday, but still looking pretty good. It closed off the lows of the session. If it can take back Thursday's high, that would be a positive. And CHGG, we're in from about this 61 area here, looking pretty good, very strong. Basically going higher as the market pulls back in. FSLY, we're long from an entry around 34.30, so right around here. There we go. Also looking pretty good, holding above the 5-day MA still. We also purchased an option in GLD. We bought the 162 strike in September. And GLD broke its downtrend line and cleared resistance at 162 on a nice pickup in volume. And you can see the weekly chart here. We have a nice bull flag type action. And for our newsletter subscribers, please see today's watch list for official buy setups. EVER looking great, trading in a tight range here, just above the rising 10-day MA. And looks like it could rip higher within the next day or two, especially if it can close above 51. Net is trading in a tight range the past 2 days with a nice inside day on a dry up in volume. This stock could be ready to explode if it can close above 30. Melly pulled back after a false breakout above the gap up day. Note the big volume gap up here. This could be in play over the 783 area. And SCDG. Looks like it had one false breakout here, another false breakout here. So I think if it can clear this 130 on volume, it should be good to go. I think a few false breakouts has worn out enough traders here. So if anyone's still along for the ride now, they could be rewarded. And the last stock of the night is HUBS, Hubs. Another stock that's forming a nice cup with handle-like pattern. Can be bought over the handle high or earlier over the downtrend line. Or use a combination of both. I like to enter earlier if possible and then add to the position as it moves higher through the handle. Sometimes you miss that and you have to buy more at the handle high, but if all goes right, usually I'm only buying maybe a third of my position there, or maybe none at all. Maybe I've got enough down here. But sometimes you don't want to get too heavy before the stock's broken out, or else you're trying to predict too much and you're trying to dictate to the market what should move next. So you have to be careful with that sometimes. That's a wrap for tonight's video. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great weekend.